Last time on Shadow Piece, the battle between the Sin of Lust Cavendish and the Ultimate Coach Lime Juice ended in an unexpected twist, because there was no clear winner and both fighters are now lying on the ground unconscious. Two battles on the island of Pulchra have already finished, so for one last time we have to turn back time to see how the fight between the son of the God of War Tyr and Building Snake is going to play out. Seeing as Tyr is not one of the Fleet of Death's sins, he is assumed to be the weakest of the current three fighters, and to be fair, that is true, but he is by no means weak. As previously said, this will be Tyrson's first fight against another pirate crew, and he already starts at the top with the crew that is allied together with his home island, Elbaf. The sword he inherited from his father is itching for a serious all-out battle, and with the declared home gun, this fight will be just that. The first clash of their blades makes the sparks fly. Tyr used a simple downward swing, while Building Snake does a cross attack with his double swords. After this starting encounter, both sides have already learned a lot about their respective opponents, both in a fighting level perspective, but also in a personality perspective. Their blade styles reveal parts of them they don't normally talk about. They go blow for blow, and as the battle starts getting filled with more heavy hits, Tyr finally has warmed up enough to unleash his flame sword fighting style. The battlefield gets set ablaze with the flickering flaming swings, casting a menacing glow on the towering figure of the giant swordsman. His colossal frame is a result of his daily training that he never misses. After all, the goal of defeating the world's strongest swordsman is not achieved easily. Even with a quick glance, Building Snake understands the dangers the weapon of his opponents holds. It is not only on fire, but its deep dark red hue makes it appear like it was tainted by the blood of thousands of enemies, giving it an overall otherworldly intensity. Across from the Elbaf native stands the agile dual swordsman. His slender blades stand in contrast to his bulky appearance. However, in this world, even the biggest fighters can be surprisingly nimble. Tyr also knows this, especially after seeing the battles of Prince Loki in the Winter Solstice Festival tournament. The clash of steel rings out like thunder as a giant fighter lunges forward, his fiery sword trailing a blaze of crimson light. With a mighty swing, he unleashes a torrent of flames, aiming to engulf his swift adversary. But Building Snake uses his acrobatic skills to dodge out of harm's way, his twin blades weaving an entertaining pattern through the flames that would surely amuse spectators if any of them were present for this battle. Unimpressed, Tyr presses on, his strikes reverberating with the force of 1,000 battering rams. Each blow shatters the very ground beneath them. However, Building Snake counters with a flurry of acrobatic maneuvers, leaping and twirling to evade the deadly arc of the giant's sword. As the battle rages on, the landscape is becoming a witness to their ferocious duel. Trees get splintered by the sheer force of their clashes. Rocks and houses were reduced to rubble, and the ground itself trembled beneath their feet. The giant swordsman's burning onslaught grows more and more intense with each passing moment, his relentless assault leaving scorch marks upon the earth that will never disappear. Yet the red-haired veteran remains unfazed. His agile movements allow him to dart in and out of range, striking with precision whenever an opening presented itself, leaving a multitude of cuts all over the body of the aspiring God of War. With a mighty roar, similar to what his captain does usually as well, Tyr unleashes a special technique, channeling the power of the flames into a devastating inferno. The searing heat threatens to consume everything in its path, but Building Snake refuses to yield. He has seen much worse in all of his years of piracy. With a series of lightning-fast slashes, he carves himself away through the flames, his blade turning as black as the darkest night to resist the massive heat of the attack. The air crackles from the generated tension as the two warriors lock their eyes once again, their gazes burning with determination. But the enjoyment of a great battle can also be seen on them. It was already clear since the beginning. This battle will not end in both sides being defeated. In the end, the superior fighter will emerge victorious from this titanic struggle. With another thunderous clash, the fiery fighter's sword met the blades Building Snake through in a shower of sparks. For a brief instant, time seems to stand still. Normally, the person with the weapon in their hands should have the advantage in such a situation, but for some reason the juggled swords continue gaining momentum, even after coming in contact with the sword from Elbaf. The collision continued for a bit, before the giant swordsman staggers backwards, a deep gash carved into his chest. The same deep red color as his own sword can now be found on his upper and middle chest area. 2 parallel cuts have been made on him. But Building Snake is not unscathed either. His body shows signs of multiple burn marks, in addition to numerous cuts and bruises from the relentless assault. Yet, despite the pain, he stands tall, his resolve unbroken. As the dust settles, the flame on Tyr's sword ignites even more, signifying his growth as a fighter. Through this exchange, both warriors learn to respect the other, but the situation hasn't changed. This is a fight to become the owner of Pulchra Island. Building Snake was already completely serious, but he has the bad habit of letting opponents use their big moves first. When he then manages to hurt them while they do a strong attack themselves, it is not only a hit on their body but also on their psyche. After this first major exchange is finished, the senior officer starts revealing his own custom technique. As the giant warrior looms threateningly over the acrobatic sword juggler, minor movements are being made to prepare the last steps. With a nimble dash, Building Snake leaps into action, each step precisely chosen, and each consecutive juggle of his sword getting faster. Agility and flexibility are key parts of this veteran's fighting style, continuing to increase the velocity of his swords, until the path where the blades get thrown to turn into vicious wind strikes, sprinting around Tyr and hitting him with wind attacks from every direction. It is impossible to really block it, after all it's just wind. However, when the wind strength suddenly increases, it catches the giant off guard and makes him topple over. Then, with another sudden burst of energy, the juggler spins himself and the swords flying around him into a breathtaking whirlwind of motion. The swords turn into a blur as they slide through the air, drawing intricate patterns of destruction and forming a body of wind currents around the fighter of the Strawhat Pirates. A battle cry leaves out Tyr's mouth as he swings his blade down, but he can't penetrate the wind shell around Building Snake that now is starting to take a more recognizable shape. Even with all his weight, the giant can't crush his human opponent, as now a wind dragon is flying towards him with an incredibly fast pace. Flames feed on air, and in the current scenario, Tyr's powers are working against him. With an elemental reaction, fire gets added to the dragon, making it even more dangerous. Descending like a comet of conviction, the juggler unleashes the full fury of the dragon upon the giant, befitting to his epithet, Dragon of the North. As one would expect, a pirate from the strongest of the 4 blues is a threat even to a warrior from Elbaf. The searing blades slice through the air with blinding speed, making the ground look almost like molten lava. As the dragon's front starts coming into contact with Tyr's body, the giant feels the most physical pain he ever experienced in his life. In the current position, he can not even swing his sword properly at Building Snake, so his best bet is to focus only on defense with his armament haki. A scream that even reaches the other new giant warrior pirates, who evacuated together with Suleiman from Cavendish's crew, leaves the mouths of Tyr. They all know their newest crew member, and this guy wouldn't let out a voice like that easily. This further proves that they went with the correct decision. In a battle of this level, they would have only gotten in the way of their comrades. The dragon continues to bury itself deeper and deeper into Tyr's chest. If he didn't have that many muscles, things already could have looked much worse. However, as soon as he feels the flaming wind dragon reach his bones, he can't just hope his haki will stop the rest, or he will get split cleanly into 2 parts. If he can stop his opponent's attack, he has to do the unthinkable. He has to commit an act that will dirty his giant pride. With the pain he is feeling right now, he can't even take a deep breath, so he just swings his blade and the sounds of destruction fill the area. In just half of an instant, the Dragon of the North continues through its path, until it comes to a stop around 10 kilometers away from where the battle first started. Building Snake is not sure how everything turned out, but he makes himself on the way back to the battleground to investigate just that. However, we will have to wait another week to find out what the senior officer of the Strawhat Pirates will discover. Things aren't looking too great for the fiery swordsman that just left Elbaf for the first time with the new giant warrior pirates, but how this will all continue can only be found out in another episode of Shadow Piece. Until then, all that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!